Thanks, Bill. Valerie, looks like you might have something to share.
I love a man in uniform. I met my husband at the boot camp graduation in Camp Pendleton, California. He looked so tall and brave, and he was my hero who would rescue me from all the bad things that happen to fair maidens. After a whirlwind romance, we were married in Las Vegas. My dream was coming true. Family, handsome husband, white picket fence around the house. The babies came fast. I learned to rely on him for help with the household. Then came the day he was deployed, and everything changed. On base, I had a friend, Beth, whose husband was deployed also. We spent a lot of time together, and we bonded like sisters. When her husband was home, she would spend all of her time with him, and I was alone and jealous. When my husband came home, she was alone, and I would feel guilty. I would call her, but she always seemed busy. On base, I went to a meeting of Marine wives, and they seemed to have a strong resolve for duty to the military as a Marine's wife. My friend Beth was also in the group. The wives seemed to be full of advice about what I should do. I felt not worthy and helpless and was afraid I was being a poor wife to my husband. When there was a break in the meeting, I quietly left. When he is gone, I do the shopping, discipline the kids, pay the bills, and have to make all the decisions about the household. I thought to myself, where's my rescue? When he comes home, there's a role reversal and I'm second in command. He has all of the authority and the kids know it. He lets the kids do what I discipline them for. He also takes places that we couldn't go. We never have enough time to adjust to being a normal family and having a normal life. He's either coming home, which means another 3-day honeymoon, or getting ready to deploy, which means he's shutting down his feelings. To him, it is far more comfortable not to feel than being at home where everything takes so much effort. He has told me it would be easier to die for you than to live for you. What does that mean? He has been trained to rescue helpless people, and he sees that I am competent and do not need rescuing. He thinks I don't need him at all, but I do. I asked him, "Don't you love me?" He answered, "I don't feel anything at all." At that point, he is emotionally detached. He has learned to detach because in battle, the people he cares for gets killed. So off goes my hero to a foreign land to rescue another fair maiden in distress. What about me? What about my dream? What about the kids I'm left to raise? I understand that that's his job, but did I marry the military? This military wife business is like being single most of the time. When he calls from overseas, we don't talk about real things that are happening because time is short and there's precious little of it. I have to put on a good face for him so he doesn't get upset. I'm dying inside, but my feelings are second again. When he does come home, he doesn't want to talk about us or communicate with me, so he spends a lot of time with his buddies. What happens to us when the war is over? He tries to protect me from the war, but we need to learn to communicate all over again. Maybe we never really learned that skill in the first place. The other veteran wives had mentioned the vet center, so I headed over there. As I pulled into the parking lot, there stood Beth. She waited for me and said, "Those Marine wives on base can be a little hard to deal with, so let's go get some coffee and talk, okay?" We drank coffee and I vented about my life, my marriage, and my kids, as Beth reached across the table and held my hand. She shared that she had similar problems and that the counselors at the vet center worked with them both and individually, even when he was on active duty. Beth said, "Valerie, let's go back to the vet center. I believe they can help your marriage." She dropped me off at the vet center and I went inside. Everyone was so friendly and they began helping me right away. I learned from group talks and counseling that's in our marriage. Life is not perfect, but it is livable, and we are still together and making it work.
We help active duty families too. Who's next?